Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to do our 2025 NFL honors predictions. Now, before I begin, I want to make this announcement. This will be the final video involving the 2024 NFL season. There will not be a Super Bowl prediction video because this year I find it very, very pointless, given that it's two teams that I really don't care about, two teams that pretty much refed their way into this position, although some of it is impressive records. And yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this Super Bowl. But anyway, we still got the NFL Honors Awards coming out, and let's get into these predictions. I'll try to be pretty quickly with these. And we're going to start off with Offensive Rookie of the Year. And the candidates for Offensive Rookie of the Year includes Brock Bowers, Jaden Daniels, Malik Nabers, Bo Nix, and Brian Thomas Jr. And for this one, I think this one's going to be really, really cut and dry. The quarterback that led his team to the NFC title game, their first in over 3 decades, is Jaden Daniels. And I don't think it's going to be that close either. Then we have Defensive Rookie of the Year. And two of these players are waiting to play in the Super Bowl. But the nominees are Cooper DeJean, Braden Fisk, Quinyon Mitchell, Chop Robinson, and Jared Verse. And okay, I've been reading it's between Quinyon Mitchell and Jared Verse, and I've gone back and forth with this one. But given that one rookie is in the Super Bowl right now, I'm gonna go with Quinyon Mitchell to win Defensive Rookie of the Year, with Jared Verse being a very close second. NFL Rookie of the Year, the candidates are Brock Bowers, Jaden Daniels, Bucky Irving. Surprised I didn't see him for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Malik Nabers, Bo Nix, and Brian Thomas Jr. In fact, all of these are offense. And once again, it's going to be Jaden Daniels. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. FedEx Air Player of the Year. It includes Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. Honestly surprised to see Lamar Jackson on here, but hey, he threw for 4,000 yards in a season. And this one, kind of a toss up, but I'm going to go with Josh Allen to win this one. This one is a fan voted award. I don't know if the ballots have closed for this category, but we'll have to wait and see with that. And FedEx Ground Player of the Year candidates include Saquon. He's winning it. I don't think it's that much. That's not going to be questioned. Let's move on. And Offensive Player of the Year candidates include Saquon Barkley, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. And yeah, Saquon 2K running his way to the Super Bowl, even if the Eagles super team their way to get there. I'm going with the Eagles. Going with Saquon Barkley to get this award. Defensive Player of the Year. This one's very interesting. And the candidates include Zach Bond, Myles Garrett, Trey Hendrickson, Patrick Surtain, TJ Watt. And honestly, this one is this one's really up in the air. Normally I would have a clue on who's gonna win, but this year I just don't. I'm not gonna pick Myles Garrett, who won it last year, because I think team success does come into play, and his Browns team went 3-14. So I'm not gonna say Myles Garrett. TJ Watt, if it was week 8 or week 9ish, I would have easily said him, but he quickly cooled down towards the end of the season. Trey Hendrickson, he was one of the leaders in sacks, which means this is gonna be an oddball pick for me, but I'm gonna go with Patrick Surtain the second to win the corner for the Denver Broncos, because he had a nice balance of individual success and team success. Although, but given that this defensive player of the year category, I think this one's really up in the air. I'm curious to see who's going to win this one. NFL Comeback Player of the Year. Candidates are Sam Darnold, Joe Burrow, J.K. Dobbins, Christian Gonzalez, Damar Hamlin. And let me talk about what everyone came back from. Sam Darnold, last year he was a backup for the 49ers. And then this year, unknowingly being the starter after J.J. McCarthy got hurt, he ended up having himself a career year. For Joe Burrow, he had that wrist issue last year. He came back and I think he led the NFL in passing. J.K., I think he had 2 straight years of him not being healthy. I know last year he tore his Achilles. This year, he did miss like 4 games with another non-related ankle issue, but he looked back to normal. Christian Gonzalez missed most of his rookie year. He ended up being one of the top graded corners. And Damar Hamlin, for the second year in a row being nominated. Last year, yes, sure, he was nominated because he came back from that heart issue. And last year, he spent most of that year being a healthy scratch. This year, he had a career year. And this one is actually easily cut and dry. I'm going with Sam Darnold to win. Because no one expected to see what he's done. And given how bust-ridden his early career was, he could be looking at a nice little payday heading into this offseason. NFL AP Coach of the Year, and the candidates include Dan Campbell, Kevin O'Connell, Sean Payton, Dan Quinn, Andy Reid. I think this one's also cut and dry. Kevin O'Connell is going to win because the Vikings, no one expected them to do much, but they ended up going 14-3, which is the most. Well, I think this is the most wins a wild card team has ever had. Sure, they were one and done, but Kevin O'Connell, it goes to show you that he's a really good coach. He could work with any quarterback. Even last year, when they had pretty much paper scraps, the Vikings still won like a couple games here and there until it was too much to overcome. But yeah, I'm gonna roll with Kevin O'Connell to easily take this award. But I would say Dan Quinn's a nice honorable mention in this one. NFL Assistant of the Year. We have Joe Brady, Vic Fangio, Brian Flores, Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson. And this one's another toss-up category. Kind of a toss-up. I think Ben Johnson won it last year, so I'm not going to lean towards him this year. For me, it's between Fangio and Flores for both, because last year, they're in 2023, Eagles and Vikings both had some of the worst defensive units in the NFL. Vic Fangio, I think he led the NFC in total defense. I'm not sure about the NFL. And Brian Flores, he turned a, a last place defense into a top 5, top 10 defense. So in this one, I'm actually I think politics will come to play because I know how much the NFL kind of doesn't like Brian Flores. I'm going to go with Vic Fangio for taking the Eagles defense to the Super Bowl. And last but not least, NFL MVP. Nominees, well, sure, nominees are Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, and Lamar Jackson. And let's be real, it's a 3-horse race between Josh Allen, Saquon, and Lamar. But then again, the MVP has been a quarterback's award. The last non-quarterback to win MVP was Adrian Peterson, and that was like almost a decade ago. And I'm actually gonna go with Josh Allen to win, because there are many games where he had to put the team on his back to get wins, and it took them all the way to the AFC Championship game. Unfortunately, America did not get the results that they wanted, and I'm gonna go with Josh Allen to win MVP. And last but not least, it is time to predict the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2025. Here's who I think will be getting a shrine this August in Canton. First up, I have a tight end who never played it down in college football. I predicted him last year, but he didn't get in. I think this year he has a better shot in doing so, and that player is none other than Antonio Gates. Next player is actually really close to me. Is really dear to my heart. He was a defensive player, anchor for the Carolina Panthers defense in the 2010s. He won Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2012. He won Defensive Player of the Year in 2013. And he made the All-Decade team for the 2010s. It is none other than Luke Kuechly. I think Luke Kuechly gets in his first ballot, despite only playing in 7 or 8 seasons. Next up, we have one of Peyton Manning's other favorite targets. They already inducted Marvin Harrison into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. This time, let's give Reggie Wayne some love. Next up, I think we're going to have the first ever first ballot kicker to get into the Hall of Fame. He started a dynasty, and he got to 4 Super Bowls before Tom Brady did, because he went to the Indianapolis Colts after, I think, in 2006, where he helped that team win a Super Bowl. It is none other than the 645-year-old Adam Vinatieri. Now we got another first ballot Hall of Famer, and I think this one might be a little bit of a reach. He was an anchor for the Baltimore Ravens offensive line of the 2010s. Saw them win a Super Bowl in that decade, and he too was a member of the 2010 All-Decade team, and that is Iowa's own Marshall Yanda. And now for the coach, a Super Bowl winning coach for the Green Bay Packers. He will end up resigning for the Green Bay Packers, but he will later go to Seattle and take in that franchise. And he helped Seattle make their first ever trip to the Super Bowl, even if it was rigged against them. And that is none other than Mike Holmgren. Now, the next member. Okay, this next one's more wishful thinking than an actual prediction. He was a wide receiver of the 90s, and he was actually, at one point, and according to Shannon Sharpe, he was the only player that's better than him. Unfortunately, his career has sadly came to an end due to a neck injury, and Sterling Sharpe, he's long overdue to getting in. I mean, I hate that it took for him to get to be a candidate for the senior class for the first time. But Sterling Sharpe, if he gets in, I know there's gonna be tears shed amongst the Sharpe family. And if he gets in, I fully expect his brother Shannon to be his presenter, as Sterling was for him. And last but not least, we have a guy named Ralph Hay. If you don't know who he is, he organized the first meetings that eventually became the National Football League. He's basically like one of the co-founders of what we know as the NFL. He passed in 1944, and it'll be interesting to see if one of his ancestors come and reveal his bust. So, yeah, this is my Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2025 that I wish would be, but who knows. And on that note, you know what? Let's just end the video right here. Tell what y'all think in the comments below. Thank for everyone who stuck with me for this very interesting 2024 season. I mean, I wish I could have said the same for the postseason, but there it goes. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.